Hey everybody, it is a Blues Day Tuesday here on Born Again to Live. We're here with Eric, we're here with Amy, and we have another special guest as we keep this Camp Paddy Run day camp recording extravaganza going. Eric, this has got to be my new favorite thing that we've ever done.
Yeah, Poolside is an awesome location. I'm loving it. I'm going to take a cannonball here in just a minute when we're done. So
I mean, and just it's like combines all my favorite things, like camp and being outside and this podcast and God and just, I don't know if I can stress enough, Eric, the people in this place I love more than I can describe. I told him, I was like, love isn't a big enough word for how I feel about some of these people. And we are a true family in the way that God intended us to live. And so this is my best life right here at camp. And so, anyway, we're going to keep the theme going today. We have with us Micah Holland.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be a part of this process, be a part of this podcast. Very blessed opportunity and very excited to share with you all just what God has done in my life here at Camp Paddy Run.
I love it. Now, we've already heard from Dean, and Dean told us that the reason he came to camp here was because he was invited by the Hollands. And you're from a very large family.
Very big family, youngest of 9. Sometimes I look back on it and I'm like, yay, it's great to be the baby. And then other times I'm like, man, where was the only child part of my life,
Yeah. Yeah. And I was telling Eric, I remember when you were a little kid, I think you hugged me at my knee practically. Yeah. And when your mom was dropping off like your older siblings to come to camp and all that. Yeah. So, so tell me about like kind of what brought you to Camp Paddy Run, like how that earliest started.
Well, absolutely. There's a certain man whose name is Jonathan Isaac Holland, who started this whole process for me and my family, and as well as my brother Joe. And it was one of those things where I heard about it growing up. I knew about it growing up, and I was just kind of brought along for the ride at the start. At the drop off and everything like that. I remember many times sitting in the car looking at Lori and Amy at the drop-off, picking up all my siblings and thinking, I want to go there too, like I can't wait. I can't wait to experience, all that they talk about, all they come home with, all the joy, the excitement that, that I could understand at the time. And then obviously I grew up. I was old enough to come apart, and I think that God brought us here for that reason. To share in the experience of those who have been here before us, and to be a part of the family that has been built here. And I think what a blessing. When I look back on it in my 20 years now, what a blessing that God brought us here all the way from where I was born, Strasburg, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And knowing the people that I've known, the experiences that I've had, all the songs that have been sung, and all the memories that have been made. I look back on it and I can only think, God, I'm just grateful for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so you did the whole, from the beginning, you did all the day camp, right? From when you were a little kid, Absolutely. All the way to graduation.
Absolutely.
And then now, how many years have you been a counselor now, Micah?
So let's see, 8 years.
8 years.
8 years,
That's right. We're celebrating your 20th year of camp.
20th year of camp. That's right. And it's wild to look back on it in that way. Started out as a young little 4 to 5 year old hopping in. And I grew up in the first couple of years and I loved it, and, could only think about all the songs that I learned, all the friends that I'd made, and all the memories that I had with Lori and Amy and all the wonderful people that were here at this camp at the time, Duckworth, Uncle Bob. Mm-hmm. And then I tried another camp once, 1 year, because my other friends at the school I was going to at the time wanted to go there. So yeah, that sounds cool. Let's go there. And I didn't realize when I signed up for it, it was at the same time as Camp Paddy Run. And I had to make the unfortunate decision of saying, yes, I would rather go to that camp. And I did. And it wasn't great at the time. But I came back. I tried it for 1 year. It was good. But I came back, and And I was grateful that I did, because I was welcomed back with open arms, and I was welcomed back in a way that allowed me to grow in myself personally, spiritually, physically, and mentally at a time in my life where I very much needed it. And I met the right people at the right time. And so Camp Paddy Run has been nothing but a blessing in my life. And I'm grateful for the experience that I've had.
I love that. I mean, we talked earlier, Micah, about how some of the funniest, laughable moments of my entire life have probably been spent with the Hollands, with Micah, with Dean. We just go way, way back. And yeah, what a blessing. Like, I mean, when God gives you joy, he just pours it out sometimes.
Right.
It's wild.
You know, they say when life gives you lemons,
Mhm.
make lemonade. When God gives you joy, you make spontaneous combustion.
That's an inside joke. For our
Absolute
listeners.
chaos comes when we're here.
Yeah.
The best ways possible.
Yeah.
Nothing bad. Always good.
Always good.
It's only been good times, good memories. And that's the only thing that I can remember every time I think about camp is just the good times, the good memories, the good moments, the good people. There's obviously the weather comes into play.
Yeah.
And that's a factor in every part of life. But to be able to come back year after year and to know the people and the way that I have, to grow up with them and the way that I have, and to call, other than my 8 other siblings, to call another 8 other people family is very special.
Yeah. Oh,
it really, really is. And, it's a different kind of family.
Yeah.
Because there's in the Bible it says there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And I would say that Camp Paddy Run embodies that in a very unique way. You find people in your life who are just a little bit closer than blood, who understand you in a way that are just a little bit different than blood. And it's a blessing.
All right, Micah. So 20 years is a long time. As you said, a lot of memories. Give us 1 or 2 that really kind of stand out to you.
Well, if I could, I'll start it when I started staying overnight. First week I came back from the other camp, and I decided that at 11, maybe 12 years old, it was a good idea to grab the camp phone and dial 911, which I learned very quickly is something you should never do, because they call back very quickly when you hang up the phone, which is an amazing thing. God bless the people who are on that line and are willing to hop on the call and answer that call at any time.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a core memory, very much so a moment that I learned a very important lesson in my life, as well as gained a great memory in my life of something that we can look back on. and now we get to laugh at, thankfully. I think another time was, I think my second favorite might be when I was asked to be a part of the team group, asked to step up to the team group and lead them in that way. It was about at a time in my life where I was beginning to volunteer in youth ministry, been in it for a couple years, have been able to understand a lot of the development that it takes, the time that it takes to pour into young people at that age. And I just remember being asked and thinking in that moment, like, absolutely, like almost like I'd been waiting for it, like almost like, this is obviously what I want to do, and I love the, K through 6 as much as my heart can handle, because they're precious. But when I think about where God has placed me in my life, I think young men, young women in middle school, high school who are developing, because it's been called by God on my life to help those in a way that I needed at that age, at that time in my life growing up. And so I think that's one's a fun one, very much God moment.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
those two memories, one was a learning curve. The other was a blessed opportunity that I was given. And I'm just, again, God, I'm just grateful for you.
Yeah, Micah, you've done such a great job with our teen program, and you really kind of have been like the camp dad to these kids, because there's enough of an age gap. I mean, some of these kids are 12, 13 years older than, and so they really do look up to you like a parent, and you really speak life into them, but you still bring that Holland fun and that Holland energy. And, you did mention the phone, and I think like one of my favorite moments, and we laugh about this to this day, we also love playing hide and go seek with the Hollands, Eric. We would play it all the time. And one particular one, I was hiding in the pantry, which is right next to the kitchen and all the stuff, right? And I was way up on the top and I was practically balancing on the door. And like nobody was going to find me because I was so high up there covered with boxes. And like, it's a small lodge. Like there's only so many places you can hide. So when you find a really good spot, like you almost hate to give it away. And nobody could find me. And I knew I couldn't get down without revealing my spot. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for broke. So I pulled out my cell phone and I called that same phone that Micah, it's an old rotary dial phone, right? I call it. And of course, it's 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Well, Lori's like, oh no. When somebody calls this late, it's never good. And was it you or who picked up the phone?
It wasn't me.
I think it might have been Lori because she thought it was a parent or the cops or something. She picks up the phone and she's like, hello, Camp. She says, hello, Camp Paddy Run. And it's me. And I say, I'm in the pantry. So Micah says that all the time. I'm in the pantry.
I think anytime I've opened that door, the only thing I could think and say in that moment is, I'm in the pantry.
Yes, it's become a thing. That's one of my favorite Micah memories, along with that time we were kind of pranking the kids. We didn't want to tell them what the retreat theme was. And when we showed up, we told you guys it was following in the footsteps of King Solomon, right? And you were like, but I don't want to follow in the footsteps of King Solomon. You were probably 11 or 12.
I really did not want to follow.
It was so great.
The footsteps of King Solomon. As much as I didn't want to go to Lebanon Church my first year, coming back, because I thought, that's homework, and I thought we were going to do something fun.
Oh, that's right.
On that Wednesday night, and then they surprised us with the drive-in, because that's one of the best memories I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dean did not bring that up in his telling of the stories of camp. When we pulled the van over and we told the kids we're going to be here for an ice cream social, and Dean was he was looking at us like he wanted to kill us. Like, what the heck? You drag us from this fun place. You're taking us from camp and the pool and all the stuff we could be doing, and we have to do an ice cream social at a church. Like, you guys were so mad. And jokes on you. We're going to Stephen City Drive-In. Let's go. And
I believed it with all my heart. I mean, my mother used to play the piano there. So for me, I was like, I've been here before, and I've got to do it again. All right. But what a joy. What a time.
Oh my gosh, yes. All right.
I don't know Micah that well, and I mean, just a little bit of passing, and that's what's cool about this for me, is learning more about you guys. But I remember the first time I ever brought food up here. That was the first adventure I had, and Amy was telling me about the counselors, and she's like, we got this guy who comes from Texas every year, and we got this other group, and she gave us through, and I'm like, seriously, somebody from Texas comes here? And that's you, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
So that showed me there's something special. When I didn't even know. I thought I was just getting food,
Right.
But
and let me tell you, first time I had that barbecue and that mac and cheese, it blessed my life. It changed my life. It was like, wow, we don't have to just eat like PB&Js and chips. It was like, wow, like people have respected and given so much to this camp over the years, like that they're willing to take time out of their day, out of their schedule, out of what they do, like yourself, to bring us and feed us counselors. Like, it was a little camper. It was like we had to makeshift all the food ourselves when we were staying here.
Yeah.
And it was a blessing. Don't get me wrong. Amy and Lori did their darndest. Nothing was wrong with it. It was great. I couldn't know the difference. I grew up po. We couldn't afford the OR at the end. And to see that just gradual change over the years because of the relationships that God has brought together at this camp, and to see people like yourself and like a Doug and a Debbie, and people who have just poured into this camp to give us counselors, not just the campers, but us counselors as well. I think that speaks volumes, to what God is doing, what God has done, and the level of relationships that have been built here at this camp. And it's a unique thing. It's something that, I come here and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm reminded how amazing the relationships are here, and the connections and the people, and what's been established and what's going to continue to be established, and where we came from, where we're going.
Yeah.
And then I think about it at the same time, I go back to my day to day and I think, where are the people like this in today's day and age? Where's that kind of love and commitment and willingness to go out of their way just to help a fellow brother, a fellow sister, a fellow believer, and even just a fellow human being.
Yeah.
And I think about it and I'm like, see it here. It gives me that belief that we can do that again. We can be the ones to bring back into the
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Have we mentioned this? Like, none of our counselors get paid, Eric.
We mentioned that when Sky was here because we were talking about that commitment. And Sky goes, and for free. We take weeks off of work.
Oh my gosh.
And we do all this, and it's for free.
Yeah.
But no, and I've talked to Amy a lot, and every year she asked me to do food for you guys, and I'm like, absolutely, no problem. And she'll always say, we'll reimburse you for your food. I somehow lose those receipts every year.
Yeah, somehow.
And honestly, like I've talked to her before, like if I could ever get my food truck, I would park it here, Steve, all day long or whatever. Like I respect this place enough that's what I would do. Like I give up a week of work too to drive the bus now. And originally it was like give up one day to cook food for a group of people that I don't know, but like two of. And now I'll give up a whole week and drive these kids because I see what you're doing.
Yeah. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, so you've got 20 years at Camp Paddy Run. I know you've had several years as a youth pastor now. You're a lot like Dean in that sense. Like you are a very seasoned, mentor to youth and in youth ministry. So we often like to ask you about either advice for young teens, new believers, whatnot. But also, if you'd rather talk a little bit more about what we're talking about this week and how that relates to teens today, just kind of whatever you feel led to say.
Well, let me ask you, how much time we got?
We had a guy one time take an hour, so you're good.
Good deal. Good deal.
But we do want to play some badminton. So let's keep it under 20 minutes.
I'm still out. Praise the Lord. And, I think the biggest thing I think about youth ministry, I think about myself being a youth pastor, a youth mentor, a discipler of young believers is, enjoy your youth. Enjoy the time that you have in middle school and high school, the friends that you're making, the connections you're making. Because if I could say one thing, it's not that bad. Like when you take that step out into the world beyond your youth into adulthood, it changes in a very rapid pace, and it doesn't stop changing. It only keeps building, and the momentum keeps going and going. I can remember when I was here at a 11, 12-year-old, and that week at camp felt like an eternity. I was like, are we ever going to go home?
Yeah.
And I remember my years in high school and just being like, man, I'm in this class all day long. I just want to go home. And then I get into the real world. I get into real life, and everything starts picking up and asking for this and asking for that. And it starts pulling away at your time and your energy and at your mentality and at your heart and at your love and at your capacity to bring joy to yourself and to the world. It takes away from that, because this world it's a wicked and it's a broken place. And I think if I could say that, I would just say one thing of enjoy it while you have it, because it is a blessing. It is a blessing. And you young people should enjoy your youth. And that's what it says in 1 Timothy. It says, don't let anybody look down on you because you're young. And so I'm going to say that right now, like, don't let anybody look down on you because you're young. Like, enjoy your youth. And if somebody wants to say, you need to grow up, you need to be better at this, you need to be better at that, you don't have to. You get to have the time and the experience to build and learn and trust in God's timing and God's will and God's plan, because his timing, his will, and his plan is so much better for your life. I have tried and tried and tried and tried to make it on my own at many stages. 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Each time I have tried to make it on my own, and I can't do it. I'm broken. And my pace doesn't work. God's pace, God's timing, God's will is better. So ask yourself a simple question. God, what is your pace? What is your will? What is your timing for my life? And I can tell you from my personal experience, when I have released that to the Lord, I have found the best opportunities available. Like I'm in the middle of an opportunity right now that I didn't ask for, I didn't think of, I didn't know was available, because 6 months ago I said, Lord, I'm done trying. I'm done trying to make myself work into something that I'm not meant to be in. And so, Lord, I trust you, I believe in you, and I need your pace, your timing, and your strength through this. And he led my wife into a place that I couldn't imagine. And we're moving in a direction that I couldn't ever fathom to get to on my own strength, on my own dime, on my own time. So enjoy your youth and enjoy the blessings that are around you, because one day you'll look back and say, I wish I was in high school again. I wish I was in middle school again. I wish I didn't have to pay for this. I wish I didn't have to pay for that. And just know that God's timing, God's will, his pace, his plan is far better than anything you could try to make on your own.
That's so good, Micah. I love that. I think yeah, go ahead.
I can tell by just listening to you, you got to be an amazing pastor, whatever pastor. Like, that's awesome, brother.
Yeah. That's a little insight into what our teens have been getting all week from Micah. It is great. And man, that is just, that couldn't be more true, to just enjoy the moment. And, I think we're blessed here at Paddy Run because we kind of get to come back for that little sliver of time, and kind of, it's almost like you come here and time has stopped and we're all just friends again and campers again. And we get to just relive this one special week, which is why we come from the ends of the earth to be here, Eric. And anyway, I so appreciate you being here, Micah, and for just talking to our youth, just pouring life into them. It's been amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's what a blessing, what an honor. I would do it all over again each and every year. And there's nothing I would change, because each and every year, God brings me here with something different.
Yes.
He brings each and every one of us here with something different. Some new life experience, some new life change, some new life opportunity. And it's meant for these kids.
Nice.
It's meant for them to hear something in a new way that they've never heard before, or maybe they have, but in a different perspective.
Yeah.
And in a different light, where God gets to really shine something on their heart, on their mind, and maybe they get to really think for a moment, wow, like, I could be better. I could be different. I could change.
Yeah.
That's all that matters for them, for me.
Well, Micah, thank you so much for being on the podcast, talking about your experience here. It's obvious to see you have a huge heart for the young people. And if you're listening to this and you have any comments on what he has, I mean, send the man some love. He's an amazing dude. As was all of the ones who have interviewed with us. I love them. I love that they've become part of my family. And, and not like Amy, she got to know him in a certain way. And then another way, I've just been thrust into the middle and kind of just like learning about them as I go. And it's kind of cool. So, we'll have to interview more of these down the road.
Absolutely. This needs to be a thing we do every year now, Eric.
I believe so. Yeah. I'd love to come back next year and offer whatever new insights God has for me.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And guys, we'll be back tomorrow for Wednesday.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
God bless.